to YTC on the Go. Today we're going to talk about hotel nights. How exciting! On this, we're going to kind of touch on some tips and tricks as to getting some cheaper travel for your hotel nights. So we spent 29 nights in hotels this summer. We did end up paying about $1,000 for our hotel nights, but I was very pleased with that cost. The reason being is that we could have made them all free, and that would have been fine, but it would have been a waste of points in some situations. So we do use points, and for the majority of our nights, we stayed in an IHG property. So that is Holiday Inn, Holiday Inn Express, Staybridge Suites, Candlewood Suites, things like that. So most of ours were Holiday Inn Expresses. We did some Holiday Inns. You can see a list of our 29 nights. So what you'll see is either I paid the money for them or I paid points. It is cheaper at times to actually pay the cost. So like in Oklahoma City, I think it was like 12,000 points. It was only $75, so it was well worth it for us just to pay the $75. And the reason for that is, if you look to the side, we got a lot of bonus points. So if we stayed 2 times, we got 2 times the points. We also had a credit card bonus of 3,000 points for a couple of nights stay. So we ended up with a whole lot of bonus points for our $980 that we spent. So our $980.44 was our total cost for 29 nights of hotel. And out of that, we ended up actually getting 4 to 5 extra free nights. If not, if they're at the 12,500 point level, we would have almost got 6 nights for that. So we got quite a few free nights with all of our bonus points. Now, we do have IHG credit cards and found that they are well worth it. So both my husband and I have an IHG Select credit card. So for that credit card, we do get a free night, and the annual fee is $49. So you'll see that next to night 20 and 21. We use those in West Yellowstone. One of the really cool things that happened with the West Yellowstone stay is that we also ended up getting upgraded. So the hotel was overbooked, and because they were overbooked, they had to book us into a comparable location. So they had a sister hotel, and they actually had cabins. So instead of a hotel room, we ended up with a 2-bedroom cabin, so full kitchen, definitely got double the space, our own entrance. One of the other cool things is they had a fire pit. So you got free s'mores. They had where you could play ladder ball. They let you borrow binoculars and walking sticks for free as well. So that was well worth our $49 a night. And the hotel went for $306 a night at West Yellowstone when I looked. However, the cabins that we stayed in were well over $700-800 per night, depending on which night you looked at. So it was well worth it for us to have those and to use those credit card rewards. One of the other things that we did, they were doing a really big promotion for their new card. And so we did get one of those as well. And so you'll see that $89 annual fee on line 23. I do count all of the annual fees as part of my total hotel cost, because I would not have spent them on that if I didn't have the credit card. So I do count that as part of our cost. A lot of people don't, but I feel like it is part of that for those annual fees. So I did decide to do that. One of the things with the new card that we got was some extra bonus points. So 10 times bonus, as well as every 4th night free. So you'll see on line 15, we ended up with a 4th night free in Colorado Springs. And we also ended up with a 4th night free in Kalispell, Montana on line 25. So we did end up with that card. We got, I think, 150,000 bonus points as long as we did our spending, our 3,000 in 3 months. So we had done that well ahead of time. So that's where all the extra points had come from. And so with that reward, We used 315,000 points for the 29 nights that we stayed. So we ended up getting 31,500 of those back. We also get welcome bonus points as we're reward members. And then with the credit card rewards, you're seeing there are extra points there as well. So our total cost for the whole 29 nights was under $1,000. So we stayed in a hotel for almost an entire month, and we spent $1,000, which is really so close to about 5 nights of hotel, and that's in some of the more reasonable places. So I did end up buying them in Bryce Canyon and Williams, Arizona, mainly because the point cost was so far over what we could spend. So I could have gotten this down to 0, but we elected to get the bonus points. The 10%, of course, we got back for using the points, but for our credit card bonus points, we had to spend some anyway. So with annual fees and everything, that worked out the way that it did. One of the other things that you'll notice is on night 16, our cost was $34. That is because I bought points. It was actually cheaper than to use the 12,500 points. I used 7,500 and I bought 5,000 points for $34, I think is what happened. But it was cheaper to do the point, the conversion for the points. So we had a higher savings rate if we purchased those few points as well as the additional savings. So the total hotel cost for that night was $174. So that was one of the things that we did. There's some definite benefits to using hotel points when staying on the road, as you've seen. We did a huge trip for very little cost per person. As there were 5 of us, it was under $200 per person for 29 nights, and you cannot beat that. We got upgraded, we got points in return. So really, we actually have an additional savings on top of what you see here with our total savings rates. You see a huge amount of points to use in the future, almost 70,000. So that will definitely get us 4 nights and probably 5 or 6, depending on how I use them. And that's a huge benefit for us. So we really enjoy using hotel points. We do have cards, and so we do pay an annual fee as well for those. But we can't stay in a nice hotel for $49 a night. So for us, it is well worth it. For that 4th night free, the $89 was worth it as well. Definitely for this year. We'll kind of see if it still works out because as you can see on our list, you can get hotels for $75. So you can get a night cheaper than the $89, but however, I would never use a free night in that way. Most of our free nights, whether we stayed in Europe or otherwise, we try to use those free nights on our most expensive hotel nights if we can. And most of the time we can. So in this case, we used them at West Yellowstone. That was our highest cost at over $300. And because we got upgraded for free, really the night ended up being well over $700. But just pay attention to your point conversion. So if I'm going to spend those points, you'll see the ones that are more valuable. The ones that are more valuable is the same cost. So like you can look at our 12,500 points, and the one that has the most cost associated next to it is the one that's the most valuable. And so that's where we really weigh out whether we want to actually buy the hotel that night and spend the money, or whether we want to use our points. So it's not always the most beneficial to use points, but for us, we did use a lot of them and ended up with a lot of points to use in the future. So please comment below if you have any questions about using hotel points, and we'll do our very best to help. Remember, your travel adventure is right around the corner.